And that brings me to point number 2. And point number 2 is that we are the most susceptible to temptation when we're doubting the potential for our future. I'm going to repeat that one more time, is that we are the most susceptible to temptation when we are doubting the possibilities for our future. Now, let me give you an example of this, right? Like, how many of you guys are married? Exactly, just me, right? All right, so check it out. I'm married, and let me tell you a little something about married life. It's like on TV, they make it look like all like fun and stuff, and like you're with your family playing board games and all this kind of stuff. But what I can tell you is that stuff, sometimes it gets boring, right? So my wife, she looks at me, she's like, babe, and I'm like thinking like, whoa, what? Like, what's going on? And she's like, yo, can you go out and get me some dish soap? And I'm like, man, like, so that's where my life's at, is like, that's the most excitement that I had going on this week, is my wife asked me to go on an adventure to get dish soap. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to make the most out of this thing. So I went down to my local neighborhood 7-Eleven, right? Because you never know what other kind of cool stuff you could pick up at a 7-Eleven. Maybe I can turn this thing around. I'm thinking my life's kind of boring. Let's spice some things up and go to the Sev for this one, right? So I'm walking through the 7-Eleven. And I'm walking, and I'm going for the dish soap. Like, I can see the dish soap, but I hear this voice, and it's, Jeff! And I whip my head around, and I don't see anyone. So I'm like, maybe I'm hearing things. I look over at the girl at the front counter. She's like, I don't know. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm walking, Jeff! And I whip my head around. And this time, I'm like, yo, I know I'm not crazy. It has to be like my boy Anthony somewhere. So I'm like peeking behind the shelves, and he's like not there. I'm thinking maybe it's my wife like messing with me because I'm like all bummed out about getting dish soap. Nothing. So I'm ready for it this time, right? Like, I'm not going to let whoever this is mess with me anymore. So I'm walking, and I'm just waiting to hear it again. I hear, Jeff! And I whip my head around like as fast as I can, and I caught him, man. It was the Slim Jims. Yup. Now, I don't know about you guys, but like, or if we think that our future potential is like nothing exciting or nothing good, or we're never going to amount to anything because of what happened in our past, we're never going to be able to beat these temptations. And for some of you, like, the temptations aren't Slim Jims. For some of you, the temptation might be harming yourself. The temptation might be undereating. For some of us, it might be overeating. For some of us, it might be a deep depression. Some of us, it might be drugs and alcohol. So what I would have to tell you in this instant is stop doubting the potential for your future. You have to look past all of that in order to leave all of these temptations behind and become everything that you were supposed to become.